Are you or your chapter interested in finding a demonstrator to learn about specific wood turning techniques? The AAW is now your one-stop spot for locating and connecting with the perfect presenter for any turning instruction you might need with our Demonstrator Direct service. Accessible to AAW members, Demonstrator Direct gives you the tools you need to find the right demonstrator for your program. Search our local, state, national, and virtual databases to tap into the broadest range of woodturner talent. Our interactive map makes it more efficient than ever to tackle the learning needs of your chapter and find opportunities to learn about the newest innovations and trends. Demonstrator Direct takes the guesswork out of planning demonstrations, making it easier to schedule demonstrators while reducing the travel expenses and cost of coordinating presentations. Find any of our registered demonstrators by name, location, experience level, and instruction topics, and get connected fast with their contact information and expected fees. Demonstrator Direct is available on the woodturner.org website today, so log in with your AAW account and give it a try.
The AAW supports your total learning experience provided to our nearly 16,000 members and 365 local chapters throughout the country. Please enjoy this woodturning tip from an AAW woodturning master. Happy turning!
Hi, I'm Eric Lofstrom. I live in the greater Seattle area. I've been a member of the AAW for about 17 years now. I started turning in about the year 2000. I'm going to share a little bit about how biomechanics plays into how you control your tool and also how you control the forms that you create at the end of the tool. Your core, from your shoulders to your hips, is probably the most important part of your body when you're wood turning. Being able to stabilize your core using your abdominal muscles, but also being able to use your legs to move your core over your base, from left to right, right to left, up and down, and twisting. Those are the three main planes that we move our body in. When you're holding a tool and you can anchor it to your core, then it becomes an extension of your body movement. If you hold the tool away from your core, it's relying on all of your limbs, your joints, that tie that tool from the tool through your limb into your core. So there's a lot more degrees of freedom or degrees and variables that you have to stabilize for. If you can hold the tool against your core, anchoring it to your hip or your ribs, then you can maneuver along your base from left to right and right to left, up and down, or twisting to control the tool. When you're at the lathe and you can maneuver your core, you can create nice fluid shapes or fluid forms because you have more control over how your body's moving and how the tool is integrated to your balance and your center of mass. When you're at the grinder and you're sharpening your tool, the same kind of motion, that splayed stance, integrating your core or locking your core in and bringing the tool into your core allows you a lot of fine movement at the grinder. Anything you practice there transfers to your control at the lathe as well. Anything you practice at the lathe transfers to the grinder. So both in sharpening and in turning, using that core will give you a lot of stability and a lot of control. When you're at the grinder and you're able to hold the handle into your core, you can move your body with great control and subtlety as to what part of the edge you're engaging with the grinding wheel. You also can choke up on the handle and you don't have to support all the weight of the handle. When I have my hand choked up and my other hand close to the tip of the tool, I can engage it with either the platform or using a jig or even freehand if I wanted to do that. I have so much control I can rotate with really fine, precise movements. I also have to make sure that I'm moving at my legs or my feet so that the tool is engaged with my core and I'm moving my entire body. If I'm holding the tool away from my core and my muscles are fatigued, my joints are tired, I'm going to be really jiggly or wobbly and I don't have very much control with where the tool meets the grinding wheel. My foot placement is really important in how I maneuver and move my core. If my feet are too close together, I have a really narrow base of support. If I widen my feet to shoulder width or slightly wider, I have a wider base of support. But if I turn my toes out to about 45 to 90 degree angle, I have a better ability to do all three movements. I can glide from left to right and right to left with my body weight. I can crouch or extend, So bending and extending, and I can also twist, so I do all three of those movements with that splayed toe placement, or my toes pointing out. Again, too narrow, I don't have enough of a base to have control with the tool. Shoulder width with toes pointing forward, I have a better base, but it doesn't allow me to have those three different movements with great fluidity. Toes pointed out then gives me control and fluidity through the rotation, bend and extend, as well as the glide, left to right or right to left. It's going really smooth. Okay. This tip is brought to you by the American Association of Woodturners. It's our hope that this information can help you at the lathe as well as the grinder, creating better forms and better safety.